Testing. Can you hear this? Testing.
Good morning, everyone. All right, so 2 things on ballots. If your ballots are done, completed, if you just pass them towards the middle, and whoever is lucky enough to be sitting on the inside end of the row, just hold on to them and hand them to Dan as he comes by. Well, Dan just sat down, so we lost ordeal. And once that is completed, we'll ask if anyone needs ballots. Okay, next item on the ballot, is there anyone who needs a ballot? Please raise your hand. Fezzik? You know what, Fezzik does not meet the criteria for membership, unfortunately. I checked into it, we're working on it. We will be taking up a collection for Fezzik's vestments, if anybody is interested, as our official missioner of the church. Okay, does anybody need ballots? There are. Oh.
I'm not going to give you the annual report to read during the meeting. The annual reports, I didn't make a lot of copies because we are green as much as possible, are down on the table outside the coffee hour. Subtle, but there's also online under Sunday documents because I did not copy a lot. Thank you.
All right. It was my privilege to call this meeting to order as your rector. Welcome to the annual meeting of SAIL. Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, source of all wisdom and understanding, be present with those who take counsel in your church of the Episcopal Church of Saints Andrew and Matthew for the renewal and mission of our church. Teach us in all things to seek first your honor and glory. Guide us to perceive what is right, and grant us both the courage to pursue it and the grace to accomplish it. through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Our next order of business is the appointment of a recording secretary, and wouldn't you know it, we have someone ready and willing to serve. Mary Lou, would you care to serve as the recording secretary for our annual meeting? Wonderful. If you wouldn't mind just...
I would love to.
Thank you. Are there any opposed? I think you've been elected by acclamation, Mary Lou. That's wonderful. Mary Lou, do you think that we have a quorum here?
I do.
Do you so declare?
I declare.
Wonderful. Again, welcome to the annual meeting here at SAM. Just a couple of notes in terms of welcome. I'm happy to report that we have several new members that were not here at last year's annual meeting that are now members of SAM and eligible to vote. Can we give a warm welcome to those who were new to the congregation who've joined us? It is wonderful to be with you here this morning. As I promised, we will have a fair and clean election. We will move through the agenda expeditiously, but I appreciate the opportunity for us all to gather together to look back on what an amazing year we had in 2023. All right, next item up for business is the election of the Vestry members, and I believe we have gotten all the ballots in. Any further ballots before they go back? So for those who are curious, since it's coming up to election season in the United States, the counting will be done in the Denby room. And we have several tellers up there, both Vestry.
So Mary, Ernell, and Barbara, if you can join me, please, and we will go back to the Denby room.
And then while our tellers are heading back, I would like to recognize those who are standing for election to the vestry. Could all the candidates just stand up? With a note of gratitude and thanks for your willingness to serve. The vestry is an incredible opportunity here at SAM to lead and to guide in prayer and mission, and we're grateful for all those who have stood for election. Thank you all. All right, so we'll begin, well, I guess we'll continue with hearing from our treasurer and the financial report.
Good morning. We always lead with the numbers so you stay awake for the rest of the meeting. 2023, pledges, plate, and other offerings, and investment income. Investment income is the interest that we get on the principal, which is doled out quarterly. We had income and contributions of $739,424. Total expenses were $780,364. So we do have a shortfall of $40,940. To cover that, we had $30,000 used from the liquidity from the sale of the rectory in 2021. That $30,000 was allotted to an operational shortfall. The rest of that was reserved for capital expenses. We also did sell $20,000 in shares of Master Fund A in principal, and that gave us an excess of $9,000 on the year. As far as what Master Fund A is, that investment fund, the year-end balance was $4.1 million. We had a gain of $256,000 in value due to a stronger market performance. This was in addition to the principal outside of roughly $180,000 in interest disbursements, which I said did fund that operational shortfall. As far as the investment fund goes, I know that we have talked about this year after year, and we worry about depleting Master Fund A. I will say that the year-end gain was roughly $256,000, and despite market volatility and COVID since 2021, we have almost a $500,000 gain, and that is on top of what we have already pulled for that operational shortfall. So we are doing a great job thanks to the market. Audit was unremarkable. We got a clean audit report. As far as the finances, we still have our finance committee in place. We did part ways with our accountant in February, and we chose to hire an outside firm, which was Breakwater. Breakwater oversees 3 other parishes as well as the diocese itself. We have one point person in contact for all of those operations, so it's great because that person, Terry, is very knowledgeable with church workings and has been wonderful with our onboarding process. We essentially have the reconciliations done up to current, so we should get better reporting now going forward. As far as the strategic plan, we will focus on the stability and the use of SAM's endowment balanced with our level of budgetary spending. With input from the finance team and congregation, our revenue sources will be examined along with the goal of increased membership and volunteerism, increased pledging, and the pursuit of grants. Combination of these and other strategies will be necessary to overcome the ongoing operational shortfall, but also provide the financial stability and growth we all see in this, our church home.
Thank you, Scott. Are there any questions for the treasurer? Bob?
Scott, do you know how much is available in the rectory fund that would cover future shortfalls?
There is nothing left in the rectory fund for operational. There was only $30,000 that was allotted. The rest is going to capital campaign.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Scott? Great. Thank you, Scott, very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Wanted to move into a couple of updates and some information regarding some of our growing ministries here at SAM. And so I'd like to start with inviting Ernestine up to talk about Episcopal Church Women. It's all good.
Good morning, afternoon, whichever it is. First of all, before I give you an update on what ECW wants to do, I want to thank all my church family in this past year in helping us with all our charities. The giving was outstanding, and we really, really appreciate it. And the community groups that we helped during the year really appreciated Sam's giving, especially St. Michael's Daycare and Nursery. That was outstanding. Okay, this coming year, we are doing a survey, and we'll be sending it out by September to all the ladies at SAM to get a determination on what they see that this ministry can do for the outside community and also for SAM. As you know, we've been asked to do a couple of things here recently, and we're glad to do it. But there are other things that are out there in our wider community and in SAM that maybe we could do better. So the survey will go out in September for all the women of SAM. And please return them to us, because we need to know what the temperature is in this church for everyone. And that's one of the projects that we're doing. Also, we are going to have a recognition luncheon for our members at SAM to just thank them for the work that they've done for the church and the community. And last but not least, the coffee hour situation. I've been asked for ECW to take the lead on that situation so that we can have our coffee hour and our gathering. What? And our gathering together again as a spiritual family and get to know each and every one of us because we all have a history. So that's about it. So if you have any questions, see, Papa Pat, no, I'm just kidding. Don't hesitate to call me. I'm in the directory, Ernestine Brock Walker. Thank you.
So Ernestine, before you leave, do you need volunteers?
What, for the
Yeah.
coffee hour? Well, I did call for volunteers for the coffee hour for next week to greet Patrick's family as they come, and I have gotten a good response. So we do need cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and something to drink for that affair.
And volunteers, looking for volunteers for coffee hours moving
Oh, yeah,
forward?
as soon as we get started in September, that call will go out to everybody. I'll send an email out to everyone. It might even add it to the survey so you can let us know what it is you want to do, okay? And that's it. We always need volunteers, people. Men too, especially for the coffee hour, okay? So we're not gonna leave you out. But as far as the women's ministry, we do want all the women to be a part of it, actively, okay? Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Ernestine. What a wonderful opportunity to gather as the body of Christ and serve in that way. But getting together after service is something that I've heard a lot about, getting back together. So if you have time and you're so inclined, please see one of us, because we'd love to have a lot of folks involved in that incredible ministry. Okay, next up, Mary Lou's going to talk to us a little bit about Children's Chapel. Fun. You're conveniently sitting right here.
I am, and I
That's
can't
wonderful.
jump down, so that's good. If I did, it would be sad. Father Patrick used the word robust twice today, and I got very excited because I think of our Children's Chapel as being such a robust ministry. I don't think any of us expected that it would take off the way it did, but it has been such an incredible experience to be a part of these kids learning about God. So we started, 2 sessions ago, so we go from September on. So like when we finished this year, they were all like, well, we'll see you next year. And I'm like, well, in 3 months. Anyway, so we started with 6 kids. And I thought, oh, this is a good number to start with. When we were finished this year, we had 18 who were interested. Now, that's a lot of kids. And for those of you who work with kids, you know that, which brings me to our most exciting news, and that is, and you already told her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know you should be. You screwed up my robustness. We are going to have, we're working to have Children's Chapel every week. The kids need it. They need it badly. And I know there are so many of you who might say to yourselves, well, I did that when I was younger. Don't go there with me. Because nobody can say, I'm younger. I'm not. And I think we have done a fantastic job. And the beauty of this is that you all have something to offer. Even if you just want to come and read a story. It's amazing how our kids grab onto this stuff. We spent 3 weeks on Noah's Ark, and they never ran out of questions. And some of the questions were very interesting, But nevertheless, they were questions. And they do equate everything we talk about with God. And that's so important to us. So if you can do a woodworking project, an art project, if you can read a story, which I know you can all read a story, or if you want to teach about something, you don't have to teach for a long time because we aren't even sure how long it will be. But for Carrie and Noelle and I this year, we usually had about 30 minutes. And I bet if you talk to the kids we worked with, they'd be able to tell you what we did. Because that 30 minutes was powerful. And they're very well-behaved kids. I don't just say that because I think I should tell you that so you'll come and volunteer. I think I should tell you that because it's true. I was amazed. I was all ready with all my child rearing experience to see how they would be, and they were incredible. I really, really, really want you to think about this and know this. I am not shy. I will call you and say, I've been thinking about you. You didn't volunteer, but you know what? Maybe you'd be able to help us. So please come to me first. That'd be nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Lou. So just a couple of thoughts on children's ministry specifically. Mary Lou and I have talked about a couple of strategies on children's ministry in particular. And the first is creating an environment for our children to love coming to church, to love being in community, to love worshiping. And so you've probably noticed they're up on the altar a lot more. We're trying to, Les is going to be working with them as acolytes, incorporating spirituality into that process as well. And so the idea is to create an environment where they want to come to church every week. And so we wanted to make sure that we have ministry formation for them every week to accompany that. That is also a big commitment on us as a community, but I think as I look around, I know in our hearts, we know the importance of forming these children in their faith. We know the importance of forming them into loving the church, and so it does mean a commitment on us as a community. And so as we're looking for volunteers, a couple of notes on this. Children's Chapel is going to have two age groups that cover pre-K through 6th grade. And so they're going to be in the same space in the crypt, divided on either side of the crypt. We are going to have a set curriculum, which many of you probably heard of before. It's called Godly Play, which is a Montessori-based program. So it's experiential. So the kids are getting figurines for the different stories, and they're able to touch them and work with them. And each lesson will have 2 weeks in a row where they're working on that lesson. So the idea is when they get done with Children's Chapel after 6th grade, they know the biblical stories. If you ask them, who's Moses? They'll be able to tell you about the burning bush. If you ask them about Noah, they'll be able to tell you about the ark and then how that works in their spirituality. So we're trying to form them from a very young age in that. Now, in terms of practically speaking, what we're talking about when we're looking at volunteers, we have essentially 2 volunteer roles. One is teaching. So it's working with that curriculum and it's helping the kids. I will tell you this, having taught in that program, it's a lot of listening. And it's a lot of asking them questions, wondering questions. I wonder about, I wonder if, what do you think about that? And letting the kids talk and share and explore. So if you're interested, I can tell you, I'll warn you, that's how I got into being a priest, was I was teaching youth ministry along the same lines. And that just led one thing to another. I'm not saying that everyone who's going to volunteer as a teacher is going to be called into ordained ministry, but it is that rewarding. I found it that rewarding as an individual. It helped me as an adult to learn so much more about my own faith and be able to talk about my own faith much more deeply and experience it. So I'd offer that as a volunteer opportunity. The other opportunity we have is actually because of our Safe Church guidelines, which we want to be very, very compliant because the safety of our children is paramount. And the church needs to be a safe place for our children to learn and to grow and to be. And that requires, in each of those classrooms, 2 non-related adults, 1 male and 1 female. And so, we need a man and a woman in each group. So I'm looking around, we need more men, frankly, because we want to have more men involved in this, if nothing else for our safety protocols, but also, I'm telling you guys, it's really, really beneficial for us in our faith journey. So if you are interested, the second person in that room isn't necessarily teaching. If you feel comfortable just being there to oversee, to make sure somebody can take the kids to the bathroom, those types of things, if you're uncomfortable necessarily teaching, but you still have the time, we could still use you in the volunteer role in Children's Chapel as well. So either one of those two volunteer opportunities are available.
And the other thing,
I turned it off on you, sorry.
the other thing that's important is, do you all remember how you felt when we brought them in the first time after we started Children's Chapel, and it hadn't been here in a while, and everybody was talking about how exciting it was to see them come in, and they were so happy, and then they got happier, and they would come in and they'd be really excited, and you all really loved that, correct? Okay, well, we
Yes.
can't do that without help. We've gotten larger, and we just need people who will help us. So we're looking forward to hearing from you.
If we're looking at the challenges that the church have, what a great challenge to have. We have so many kids. We need more help. That's a fantastic thing. So well done, Mary Lou. We're very grateful for your ministry. Thank you. All right. Next up, I'd invite Chuck and members of the Healing Tree Ministry to come forward and talk a little bit about health and wellness and our relationship with the Healing Tree. Pat, come on forward. Yep, and the whole team.
Hi, this is a really difficult act to follow after Mary Lou talks, but knowing the age of our congregation, who needs health and welfare? I mean, we're all pretty healthy. So John Goodall and I sort of organize or try to organize the health and wellness ministry, and we try to do three things: support the congregation, to give them direction if they to give them direction if they're having barriers to reach appropriate health. Not to take care of you, but to give you some direction. Second, to do projects that will help the community. And third, to present topics that will be of interest to us and hopefully the community. And we've done really a few things. One, we have one defibrillator, and in that same box downstairs with the defibrillator, we have Narcan for intranasal use. If we see anybody in trouble, you can do that very easily. We've also trained a number of people in CPR, and we're supporting the purchase of another defibrillator, one upstairs and one downstairs. I know our age doesn't need them very often, but I think it's good for us to have.
You don't want to use that if we don't have to, Chuck.
We don't want to use it. Let me tell you, it works. My tennis partner a year ago said, gee, I got to stop, had a cardiac arrest, and with a defibrillator and CPR, he was back playing tennis in a year. So it works. The second thing is, what are we actually doing now besides the defibrillator? And one, our community project is right here. It's the Healing Tree SCR. And this is a project that not only our congregation, but multiple congregations in the community are helping families and individuals with sickle cell disease. And there's a lot we can do. And we have two programs. I'll let them talk about it. But we have Janet Tripp and Debbie Kimona and Reverend Weichert, who are the face and activity of this program, which is now an independent 503c charity. One could give to it. And it has a website. And we're doing a lot of things. Our congregation does Nourish, which helps families choose good food, and also a mentoring program. And we need more people to be interested. The other thing we've done is there's been two programs One, John Goodall put on a program about the end of life seminar of how to life care plan, and Sherry Goodall put on it with Scott Sirota and also Ernestine. I don't want to forget that. A program, and it was called Mind, Body, Heart, Soul, and Self-Care. And both of these programs have a nidus that we could maybe spread here, but also into the community. And I don't want to forget about our renal disease and blood pressure testing that Udell Drain has organized with her nurses, which raised awareness of renal disease, following blood pressure, and again, self-care. So I'm going to give the microphone over here, but I'd like you all to know that in the back there'll be two lists for people who may even be interested in either the health and wellness and or the healing tree. You don't have to be a healthcare professional. If you've been sick and have struggled with finding healthcare, and if you need to help direct people and help tell us what we should be looking for, we need you. So, Pat?
Thank you, Chuck, and thank you so much to the Episcopal Church of Saints Andrew and Matthew. The Healing Tree began as a research project with the help and support of Nemours Children's Health. And it was during the course of doing doctoral research that I met my first young person struggling with sickle cell disease. And when I spoke with him, his question to me was, Pastor Pat, why has God cursed me? And as I began to explore the question, I realized that this young man in hospitalization, the main thing that he needed to be able to get treatment very, very quickly was a ride to the hospital. And we also discovered as we did more work that many of our patients did not have the tools to follow the care recommendations that were given to them. I don't know if you've ever finished a doctor's appointment and you've ended up with a stack of papers, but you didn't always have the food, the transportation, the information, the support, the ability to set goals that would help you actually fulfill those recommendations. So our hearts went out to young people that are trying to manage sickle cell disease. And what our group does is we give them the tools. Here's your care plan. We help you find the tools, all right? The food that you need, the ride to the hospital, the vitamins that will help sustain you. And we do this work so much for the volunteers. Specifically, what Sam has been doing for us with the food coaches is helping make sure that the food that our patients need is delivered to them, and then helping them make sure that they can store it and cook it and they have the equipment that they need. And then also reaching out to them and saying there are other opportunities for us to help you. So we are so grateful to Nemours. That was the incubator for our work. And I'm going to call out, she doesn't need it, but this is Dr. Jean Wadman back here, who so often helps us interface and helps us get connected with patients who need our help. And since we left the Nemours incubator and became an independent 501c3, we have now begun to serve Wilmington, Christiana. And we have a scary conference call with St. Christopher's Hospital on August 5th. I'm hoping that we don't expand too quickly. But that is our hope and goal, to help our patients who are managing sickle cell disease starting in childhood to be able to fulfill, what is forecast for us in Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, who prays for all, that may your days be the days of a tree. The time that Isaiah was written, that was the longest living thing on the planet. And that's what we hope for these young people who are managing sickle cell. I don't want to put them on the spot, and so I'm not going to ask them to speak, but they have plenty to say if you'd like to speak at coffee hour. This is Deborah Hagen Kayoma. Debbie is the parent of a sickle cell patient, and next to her is Janet Tripp, who is also a parent of a sickle cell patient and also active in the Sickle Cell Association of Delaware. I cannot thank them enough for teaching me so much about how to care for these patients and for loving all of us into this work. And Ernestine, we have agreed to volunteer to host a coffee hour, so please sign us up. Thank you so much.
There are brochures about the healing tree on the table outside of coffee hour.
Can we also talk about the mentor program as a continuation of that service?
Our mentor program is going to be the toughest nut to crack. Because what we are offering is what many of our patients say that they want, is loving care and support as they set goals to move from pediatric to adult care. As we begin our relationship with Wilmington Christiana, we're really hoping to be able to stay with these young people as they move in the direction. But beloved, there are issues with social drivers of health. Some of our young people are not comfortable sharing with people they don't yet quite know, all right, all of the details of their lives and their true needs. So it takes a lot of patience and a lot of willingness to stand by and continual invitations. So we know there is a need, but this is something that requires, a special bit of loving care and patience to help stand with us as we attempt to gain credibility in providing these types of relationships. So I do want you to know that for the mentor program and also for the food coach program, we do provide training. It's a 90-minute Zoom session to help you get started. And we support you. Debbie, Janet, and I are available by telephone, by Zoom, by visit. But this is going to be the toughest nut to crack. We have it's a total of 8 different services that we offer to patients, and all of those are going great guns. We're sputtering a little bit on the mentor because that's a tough bridge to cross. But we could certainly use your prayers and your willingness to walk patiently with us. We have 2 relationships that are working, others that are in the pipeline, but that's the one that we're going to need the most help and support for. Scott, was there something else that I should add? Mm-hmm. Okay, Pat. Mm-hmm.
Really, wait, because we are streaming this.
I just want to say that if you have a modicum of interest in being a mentor, please give me a call. Okay.
Yeah, Pat is one of the patient saints who was working with us in building a relationship. And sometimes the people with the most challenges are the ones that are most reluctant to share because they feel a stigma, not only by the disease, but by the situation that life has placed them in. And we want to just love them through that as much as we possibly can.
Thank you, Pastor Pat. Can we give a quick hand? So I just want to say thank you to Chuck and to John. It's such a blessing to have such wonderful physicians leading the health and wellness ministry. But the Healing Tree is a relationship that Sam as a church is supporting administratively behind the scenes to help them as they're growing. So you'll hear more about that as that relationship develops. But the opportunity for us as a community to support members of our community who are afflicted with this condition fits right into who we are as a church and who we are as members of the body of Christ. Can you just raise your hand if you are serving as a mentor or a food coach? Can you just raise your hand? It's wonderful. So we need more mentors and food coaches, and so if that is a ministry that is of interest to you, it's an incredible opportunity. What I've heard from those individuals that have just raised their hands in terms of the impact that it has on them and the relationships that they have made in this program are transformational. So it's an opportunity not only to impact someone's life, but to have our lives transformed at the same time. So if that's of interest, please reach out to either one of the individuals that raised their hand, to us in the office, or to Pastor Pat. But Pastor Pat, thank you for an incredible ministry. We're so grateful for your work. Okay. And Chuck and John, I already said thank you. I did. Okay. Next up on the list. I am going to miss you dearly. We haven't gotten to that part of the program, Sandy. Okay. Alice Smith, would you care to come up and talk a little bit about community advocacy?
I am excited today to talk about the latest outreach that's going on at SAM. This is because of a meeting that Alice Sawyer called with Friendship House to say, how can we do more to help those who are homeless? And so what came out of that discussion was the fact that people that do not have a permanent residence need a place to wash their clothes and take showers. And SAM has the capability, because we have some rooms downstairs, where there is now going to be 2 double-stacked washers and dryers, and one is at least working now, and the other one will be working shortly. And then also, there was already showers there from when there was a men's shelter downstairs. And that program is still being worked out. But currently, we are looking for volunteers. People have donated many towels and laundry detergent and bath supplies. So we will put a notice out when more of those are needed. But what is needed now are volunteers. And I'd like to recognize the 3 people who are currently volunteering for the laundry duty, and that's Jim Bimby and Leslie Klauser and Jenna Christie. So if you want to know what's involved in doing that, you can talk to one of those 3 individuals. And free laundry service is being offered on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9 to noon. And of course, those washers and dryers are in the basement. The second thing I wanted to bring to your attention is please continue to bring in food for our food closet. We've been collecting food for Bill Perkins' ministry, and he's working with 4 Venezuelan families, and we've been collecting a lot of different foods that they use in their nationality and their cooking. And he'll be picking that up soon, and then we'll continue collecting food, which we'll give to the transitional houses. So please, make sure every Sunday, if you think about it, bring something in for that collection. And there's black boxes in the front and back of the church. And finally, please be with us on August 11th when we'll be recognizing our 7 scholarship winners. This is the best year we've had in probably 4 or 5 years. And last year we had 2 scholarships given. This year there'll be 7. We have 5 freshmen that are going into college, and they'll be recognized, and then there'll be a coffee hour that day. So please join us then. And last but not least, if you have a chance to read the annual report, there are 3 pages that I've written about all the things that SAM does in terms of advocacy, and there's certainly something that you might want to join in with.
Thank you, Alice. So just a note on the showers and the washer and dryer. The second stack I had ready to go, and we have a leaky valve. So wonderful. But I can tell you that when I've been down there checking in, because there's some other folks from the community that are volunteering as well, we're seeing a lot of folks come through looking for their laundry to be done. So there's a lot of need. It's a great ministry. But if you're looking for a quiet place to read and get some things done, it's actually a very peaceful place. So, and a great opportunity to really make a direct impact on folks in the community. So Alice, thank you very much. It's a wonderful ministry. Okay, last but not least is an internal ministry. Father Jim Bimby has been able to come to us from serving at Grace Church this morning. Jim, would you care to come forward and talk a little bit about the Altar Guild?
Morning, Sam. This was my summer. I was supposed to sit in the pew or go to the beach, and now it's been 4 Sundays in a row. I'm done for the rest of the summer.
Jim, why are you looking at me?
I'm glad I could make it down here. Yes, Altar Guild. Well, I want to say one thing. I want to give my father a lot of credit. Son of an Italian immigrant growing up Lower East Side in New York. Did not have a mother because she had died when he was an infant. Raised 7 kids and taught me if something's broken, try to take it apart and see if you can fix it, and help out where you can. He always did the dinner dishes at our house, did all the grocery shopping, did all that sort of stuff. So I do laundry at home and downstairs, and I also do other things behind the scenes to help out. And Altar Guild is one of them. It actually started when I was in seminary. I was the head sacristan at my seminary, which means we had 2 services a day, 7 days a week, and I had 5 other people working with me. And it's a glorious ministry for all of God's children. Male, female, anything in between, it is that sort of thing that you can do to help out. I get great joy from doing it, so I hope that some of you will join me in doing that. It will involve trying to have people to help set up for the 2 services on Sunday for the early. We certainly need an early service crew, and then a crew for the 2nd service, and those who are willing to take home the soiled linens and things and wash them and bring them back. So I hope some of you will join us. We're, I think, hopefully going to have a meeting, sort of a training time, the last Sunday of August. If you can't make that, I'll come to your house, I'll meet you somewhere, because we really could use your help, and it's really a ministry for me that really just kind of feeds me. It's good quiet time, and it allows our rector and all the other servers on Sunday morning to help lead the service. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. So in addition to thanking Father Jim for stepping up and serving in this way, it's a real privilege. And the ironic thing is, I was also the sacristan at my seminary, but because I was a non-residential student, I was there once a week maybe, and we didn't have our own chapel, so I had to take everything upstairs to like a sink in the offices to clean. So we have very different seminary experiences, but we both find Altar Guild to be a really, really incredible ministry. And I'll just share this, when my daughter was young, we served on Altar Guild together. And it was a great opportunity to serve with her. She could learn about the church and learn about the altar, but it was just a great opportunity as a parent to have time with my daughter. So there's lots of different ways to serve in the Altar Guild. It's an incredible ministry that is very prayerful and very peaceful, but it's just a great chance to be connected to the worshiping life of the community. It's actually not a lot of pressure. It's just kind of fun and enjoyable. So if it's of interest, please let Jim or myself know, but we'd be very, very grateful for your service. Okay, so that leads us into our next report, which is our senior warden. And our senior warden, yes, you're going to need to stand for this. Oh, really? Yes, absolutely. Oh, really? Well, you're going to have to turn the mic on.
Oh, really?
So, my guess is many of you know that Sandy has been our senior warden 3 years.
This was my report.
It is, but we got to lead up to it. We got to set the stage properly for this report.
Okay.
So Sandy, you've been senior warden for 3 years this time, but you've served as senior warden before, haven't you? How many times have you served?
Several, but my 5 years during consolidation, I was the senior warden for the before and the after.
For the before and the after.
Yeah.
And you served before that at St. Matthew's too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you've served, this is your 3rd stint as senior warden.
Well, I'm only 49, so I have to redo the math.
I share that to say, for those who have been through a transition at a church, at an Episcopal church, the role of senior warden when there is no rector is unique, isn't it? Maybe challenging. There's a lot involved, isn't there? Because when there is no rector, the senior warden is the ecclesiastical authority of the church. I'm looking at Pat Saunders, who is also knows all about this. So, Sandy, I wanted us to recognize not only have there been 3 stints as senior warden, including, you said, 5 years during consolidation. The 2 hardest stints as a senior warden are when there's a transition with the rector. There aren't very many churches that have consolidated. I can't imagine you and Max were overly busy during those 5 years, were you?
No.
So in terms of service to the church, your service has been, impactful doesn't begin to describe it, but the labor of love and all that you have done to serve this incredible community. Can everyone please stay? Immense gratitude from us.
So when do I give my report?
I'm sorry, I should have done that after you talked.
No, thank you, thank you. Do I speak now?
Well, we have a little something for you.
Okay, thank you.
A token of our appreciation. It's a gift. You have to open it in front of
Okay,
everybody.
Thank you, thank you very much. Vestry members, you didn't have an executive session for this. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, the fruits of the Spirit. One of my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It is my favorite, one of my favorites, Galatians. The fruits of the Spirit. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
Keep going.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Okay.
There's a second one. She keeps trying to get out of this, and it's not going to happen yet.
Oh my goodness. So, oh, I see. So, oh my goodness, do I need this to keep me, while I'm praying, to keep me, it's a ball in a maze.
A labyrinth. A labyrinth.
Yes, the labyrinth, to keep you focused and prayerful and centered. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I think we're ready for your report now.
Okay. Well, this is going to be brief. I love all of you. I love the fact that you voted me to Vestry. Thank you for that. It was a moment where I didn't know that I could do that at that time. But you know, you pray and you accept, and you're a gracious receiver. My report is one page, and I'm going to leave it to you to read because it's full of thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for your confidence in somebody whom you've known for a long time, several of you who are knowing me for the first time. But the one thing that is so important in governance and leadership and membership and congregational love is listening, prayer, and listening, and getting back to people with a straight story, whether it's a story that is maybe more challenging than anticipated, but it's getting back to them. So I know that Sam, I have a t-shirt at home that says, "We've come this far by faith." And every time I look at it, I think Sam. Every time I go to any congregation, whether on vacation or not, I think Sam. How is it that their gifts or whatever indicators that we might bring here to be an incredible community for ourselves and for the city of Wilmington? I'm so grateful that in that friendship, that we formed a friendship. I mean, we really formed a friendship. whether you want, and I mean, it started actually with Jim Bimby, with Father Jim back there, with the constancy of communications and clear, honest exchange. And I think it just went on steroids with you. But I loved it. We look forward to it because it's always great to resolve and talk about things in the front as much as possible so that we can work through that. Vestry members, I can't say enough about you and the times that the last minute calls, the long-term calls, the staff. I mean, the music, the administration, even today, just trying to make things smoothly for our meeting. I'm just full of thanksgiving and gratitude because it is this church really that has been the village for my life. Everybody knows, my son Matthew says, be sure to tell Mr. Brock I said hi, or all the others who, when he was running under the pews and somebody had to grab him because I was in the choir. So it is a huge thank you for continuing being the village for me, even at 49. Now, I'm not done yet because I have something for you.
For me?
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's for me, but
Yeah.
this is for me.
Okay.
This is for us, actually. Would you just pull that? Pull that. Okay. This is a bonsai. Now, the bonsai has an interesting story of over 3,000 years with the Japanese culture, you know. And what it does is, it's so much of what you preached about today. It's about the growth, and it's about the clipping, and to make it more efficient and more energetic in its growth. And it's about watering and looking and talking to it and listening. It's about all of that. Now, if it dies, you have to go out and buy another one.
Have you talked to my wife about how many of these I've killed?
And pretend that it's the same one. Just put it in the same dish. But this is our very special gift to you because it really symbolizes this growth, this clipping, this watering, this listening, and maintenance and sustainability. It's all about that, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to take a point of personal privilege.
Okay.
So to say thank you personally for how you've welcomed me, for how you've nurtured me and helped me transition into this place and into this role. When I came and interviewed, I had the opportunity to meet with you. We were down in the lounge, do you remember?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I just remember I was very prepared because I'd watched the videos of her and Max to learn the history of the congregation and to get to know you before we met. And I just remember laughing for, I don't know, an hour. I think Sherry was in there with us. And she had to cut the conversation off because we were way over time. We were way off topic. We were just enjoying the time together. So from the very first moment that we met, you have been so sweet to me, so kind, so caring, and also so helpful in so many ways. But on behalf of the congregation, for thanking you, especially during the transition, your faithful prayer for leadership of this community to help see us through what is a very challenging time, to see us through not only successfully, but to be in a position where look at this. We're thriving. We have almost 20 kids in our children's ministry that grew during that period. It's amazing, and we owe it to you, and we're very, very grateful. So on behalf of a grateful congregation, thank you for your service and your leadership.
Thank you. Thank you. Thus endeth my report.
Any questions? Are there any questions or any? Okay, I think I managed not to cry during that. This is good. So, I think DL is heading up to find out about how the elections are going. The irony is, I love bonsais, and I kill them. So I think the safest thing to do is to leave this in the office, provided it will get enough light, and that way those of you who... No? Tona, I'm gonna get with you, and we're gonna make sure this tree survives. Because on my own, it will not happen. Thank you. All right. All right, so the next item for business is the announcement of our election results, and I believe DL was running up to find out where we are with that. They're coming. Okay, so this is time for us to do a little vamping for those of you in the theater world. In terms of other business and concerns, are there other questions from the congregation on the reports, my address during the service? Are there anything that anyone would like to talk about? Katie? Just what David's actually up in the choir loft, working with the live streaming technicians are here. This is the first time we've had this live streaming system, so we're learning how to use it. How does the sound? Yeah. Thanks be to God. It's a wonderful, wonderful change and a wonderful set of improvements. And so as I was talking about this, going out into the community this morning and thinking about how we're going to connect with folks, one of the things we were really, really cognizant of was so many people who are looking for churches now are doing so online first, right? I'm looking at several of you who have come to SAM, and I know you've checked out the live stream first. People want to see what's the music like, what's the service like, what's the preaching like? Is this a community that I think I could find, happiness and comfort in first? So we recognized the property committee, the vestry, the staff. Thank you, Lionel. Wonderful. We recognized how important that online experience is as we seek to connect with new people. And so that was one of the first priorities, was getting the live stream to be consistent. Obviously the sound. Going to do a baptism and not being able to speak on the microphone because it's cutting in and out. These are things that we want to address and address quickly. So again, a lot of gratitude to David Christopher and to Mid-South Audio for making this happen, but it's a huge, huge improvement. Okay, I have the certified election results, and I would like to congratulate the following individuals who have been elected to a 3-year term on our vestry. Dave Klauser, Judy Gregory, Stephen Jones, and Janice Teemer. So congratulations to all. Thank you to everyone who stood for election. And I will share that we will be having at the first meeting of the vestry later this month, we'll be having our annual retreat. We'll be electing officers and appointing committee chair people. So look for that information to come out. But thank you very much to all who stood for election and offered service to the Episcopal Church of Saints Andrew and Matthew. Okay, we're getting close to the end, so I just want to call attention at the end of the annual report. You will see the necrology for those who have died within the household of God in the past year. So I would just commend those having come to the church and had the opportunity to celebrate many of their lives and many of their witnesses. I just commend those named to you and for your prayers and for the prayers for the repose of their souls. But just to note, it's a beautiful piece of our ministry too, is to say goodbye and welcome home to those who have left us in the last year. Okay, concluding remarks. I simply have this. One, thank you again for the opportunity to serve as your rector. I am so excited to be here. I'm so grateful to all of you. There have been a lot of information over the course of the morning on a lot of things that we're trying that are new, a lot of new ministries, a lot of new opportunities for volunteer and for service. Please prayerfully consider where God might be calling you. Everyone in the body of Christ has a role. We say in the post-communion prayer, send us forth to do the work that you have given us to do. And so it's an opportunity for us to prayerfully consider what is that work that's in front of us. Everything from Altar Guild to working down in the basement, working on laundry for folks, to serving on Vestry, to serving on any number of different committees, to working with the incredible ministry of the Healing Tree. So many different ways to get involved, to strengthen our own faith, and to join others on our journey. But please prayerfully consider, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Okay, the other concluding remark I have is this. We do have coffee hour immediately following this as soon as we close. And we're going to have a cake to congratulate and thank Sandy. So the coffee hour is for you. And you get a cake. Please do.
You know, you guys are just terrific. You're just terrific. But it's your birthday.
Yeah? Oh. My birthday is not today.
Yeah, no, but your birthday is tomorrow.
I won't be 49, though.
Okay. I'm just a day or two older. But his birthday is tomorrow. You fooled me because I thought the birthday cake was for Patrick. Tomorrow. Okay.
We both get cakes.
Right. Thank you, and eat up. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to close us in prayer with a prayer for the mission of the church, which is on page 838 of the Book of Common Prayer. You don't have to pull it out, but just a reminder that as Episcopalians, our Book of Common Prayer is a wealth of resources for our common life. So let us pray. Almighty God, you sent your Son, Jesus Christ, to reconcile the world to yourself. We praise and bless you for those whom you have sent in the power of the Spirit to preach the gospel to all nations. We thank you that in all parts of the earth, a community of love has been gathered together by their prayers and labors, and that in every place your servants call upon your name. For the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. I would officially conclude our annual meeting at the Episcopal Church of Saints Andrew and Matthew with gratitude to everyone for your service, for your prayer life, and for your faithfulness in this community. May you all be blessed, and please join us in the auditorium for cake and coffee and fellowship. But I declare this meeting officially closed.